know, this must be my lucky day. I always think it's a lucky day when I run into Chuck Schaden, and when I invite him and he comes, I just love it. It makes me so happy. So nice to have you here.
It makes me happy to be invited. Thank you, Pat.
Well, of course, you've been so busy preserving all the golden days of radio that now, I mean, this is, you're in the Hall of Fame. I mean, you've got, I was reading here, I was amazed, and I've known you a long time. Producer and host of Those Were the Days, producer and host of Old Time Classics, author of WBBM Radio Yesterday and Today, editor-publisher of Nostalgic Digest and Radio Guide, owns Metro-Goldwyn members, and a member of the MBC, which is the Museum of Broadcast Communications Board of Directors.
Yeah.
Well, no, but isn't it something that an interest in old radio has created a whole world for you?
It's nice. It's nice to turn an avocation into a vocation. That makes me pretty lucky to do that. Yeah.
That's what I think. Yeah. And of course, now the museum is such a nice place to be. I don't know if folks at home have gotten down to the Museum of Broadcast Communications or not, but there's some great exhibits and great things happening there.
We've got some new exhibits open too. We've added to our exhibitry in the Radio Hall of Fame. We have a couple of hands-on exhibits where you can look at it. There's a screen, and you can see and hear some of the sounds of some of the people who are now in the Radio Hall of Fame, like Shirley Bell Cole, who was Little Orphan Annie, and the Lone Ranger, and Jack Armstrong, and lots of comedians, and all that sort of thing. And of course, Jack Benny's Vault exhibit is there. You can walk into the vault and you can look and open the door of Fibber McGee's closet.
I love that. Yeah. What I really like about it is that after everything falls out and you close the door, everything goes back up.
Yeah, isn't that nice? Would that it would happen in our own homes.
Now there are those sitting out there going, Fibber McGee and Molly, who's that? Because this is a period of time where if you enjoyed that. But young people are coming along and they're getting acquainted, and they love it too.
Well, the young people really are the future for old-time radio. They're the ones who are discovering it, and by discovering it will help keep it alive long after the sounds have softened a little bit, and those of us who are really gung-ho about it have kind of subsided a little bit. But the young people, I'm talking about kids who are in their early teens and college years, and people in the 20s and early 30s who never had a chance to listen to radio as it was, have discovered it through some of my efforts and some other efforts, and say, this is great because I can see pictures without looking at a screen, without looking at a television set.
What I love is the fact that you have helped to create old radio shows or to reenact radio shows, and so that people who didn't see it happen during that period of time, didn't know how it happened, which a lot of people didn't. They just went to the radio, turned it on. And
well, basically that's the way it should have been. You're home listening to the radio, you turn it on, and you hear it, and your imagination creates the pictures. But there was a small group of people, relatively speaking, who went to the studios and were in the studio audience, and they would see the Jack Benny program, they watched Fibber McGee and Molly, they might enjoy the First Nighter program or the Lux Radio Theater. And those studio audiences might have had 300 or 500 people in them. But of course there'd be 50 million people listening at home. But what we've done is to try to create for people who never had a chance to go see a radio show done live, to see how it was done. So on the second Sunday of every month at the Museum of Broadcast Communications, we do live reenactments of old-time radio shows. The actors are there with scripts in hand. The sound effects people are there, the technicians, all there in front of a studio audience.
Actually, I got down and saw one of these, and I just loved it. Well, you brought us a good example of this today. And now this was a particular occasion celebrating Jack Benny's 39th birthday for the, what, 61st time? Or
That's right. Well, Jack Benny was born in 1894. And on his centennial, 100 years after his birth, in 1994, we figured we needed a big party. Now, if Jack were still alive, he'd be celebrating, what, his 39th birthday, which he always did, 39th birthday. So we had a big party at the Museum of Broadcast Communication. It was the 61st anniversary of Jack Benny's 39th birthday. And we had a lot of the people who performed these reenactments are part of this. And we brought in Jack's daughter, Joan Benny, whom you met. I know she was on your show one time. She came in and she reenacted the role of her mother, Mary Livingston. We also had Jack's grandson, Joan's son, who came in and took a part in this. Well, the clip we have is a scene from the Jack Benny program that was written especially for this occasion.
Okay.
Now, Ken Alexander, one of the longtime veteran radio announcers in the Chicago area, wrote a special script based on all the Jack Benny characters and all the situations. Now, you know, people think that Jack went down to the vault on every show. They think Jack went to the railroad station on every show. Jack had violin lessons on every show. Didn't really happen. He did, on this show he would do this bit, on the next show he would do that bit, and so
You know,
forth.
sound effects had so much to do. Now, we're in the piece that we're going to see, we're not going to see the sound effects, but I have to say, when I went down, and the place was so crowded I couldn't even get into it. I was looking through a window at what was going on, and they were doing some of the sound effects, which of course was the most convincing part for the listener in days gone by. Yeah, sure, because they thought, gosh, that's really there. And it wasn't at all. I mean, you've got all those kinds of sound effects.
Lots of sound effects equipment, yeah. Well, you see, the thing about it, when you see it, when you come to the studio and watch a radio program being reenacted, or in those live days, you would see how these sound effects were created, and of course that breaks the illusion. Because if you were home listening and there was a fire gently crackling in the fireplace, you would see that little blaze in front of the, you know, you'd be in front of the fireplace and you'd see that. But if you were in the studio, you'd see a sound man with a little ball of cellophane in his hand, crinkling the cellophane near the microphone, and that would be the crackle of the fire in the fireplace.
I can see why youngsters love this stuff. You know what? They're telling us we're going to go to a break, so I'm going to wait till we come back, and then we're going to actually see a reenactment of a radio show. This is a Jack Benny birthday party. You're going to love it. It's so nice of you to bring the tape over to us.
Don't touch that dial.
Don't touch that dial. Stay right with us. Lifestyle continues.
Appreciated community leader, opened Dulles Cleaners in 1958. It is a family-operated business and has a history of quality service that tailors to all needs. Dulles Cleaners for 36 years has made dry cleaning an art. Through the years, Dulles has kept up with ever-evolving and returning fashions. With a 10% discount on all dry cleaning, Dulles Cleaners does not miss a spot. Located at 495 South York and 128 Addison Avenue in Elmhurst.
There may be something you're not seeing here, because the first sign of breast cancer isn't easy for you to spot. That's why a yearly mammogram is a must, especially if you're over 50. Doctors say the older you get, the higher the risk of breast cancer. But early detection increases your chance of successful treatment. While you may not be able to see something this small, a mammogram can. Call the American Cancer Society. Early detection is the best protection.
I'm busy. Every minute while we're away, I'm talking to Chuck Schaden, and because he's such an interesting man, and there's so much going on. We're just talking about the museum and everything that's happening down there. But I just asked, could I come down and be a part sometime of one of the? Can anybody? I mean, somebody who's watching.
Anyone who has an interest in old-time radio and a little bit of acting. And see, the beauty of this kind of acting is you don't have to memorize lines, and you don't really have to wear costumes or makeup or anything, because you're reading from a script. On the second Sunday of every month at 2 o'clock at the Museum of Broadcast Communications. It's on Michigan Avenue at Washington Street. On the second Sunday at 2 o'clock, you come in, you see the show, and then you tell some of the people that are in the show that you want to participate, and they'll sign you up, and then you can get part of it.
I want to get to this because it's kind of long, and I want to make sure that everybody gets a chance to see it.
Well, this is from that Jack Benny reenactment from the 61st anniversary of his 39th birthday. Now, the script was written by Ken Alexander. John Siebert plays Jack Benny. He's a member of the group. Joan Benny plays Mary Livingston. We have Joseph Shatava as Rochester, Elliot Malicio as the train announcer, because this takes place in the train station. Norb Weissman is the tout, the fellow that Jack Benny always used to meet. And Herb Twerry is a character by the name of Cy.
Okay, we have to get to it, or
Let's
we're
do
not
it.
going to get to see
Okay.
all of it. I hope you enjoy.
Your attention, please. Train leaving on track 5 for Anaheim, Azusa, and Cucamonga.
Thanks for your help with the luggage, Rochester. I'll see you in a few days. Call me if anything comes up.
So long, boss.
Jack, over here.
Oh, Mary.
What have you got in that bass fiddle case?
Well, when I travel, I always carry a lot of stuff, you know. Have you bought your ticket?
No, I'm going to do it now. I just got here.
Would you mind getting mine while you're there?
I'll be glad to, Jack.
Here's some money. I want to get a bite to eat before we board.
But, Jack, you can get a delicious meal on the train.
I know, but I thought I'd just grab a bite here in the station.
You're just too cheap to buy a meal on the train. Jack, you should be ashamed. Why, with your money, you could buy this railroad.
I did last week. Oh, excuse me, Mary. Carry your bag, miss?
No, thank you.
Jack, will you take off that red cap?
Oh, all right.
Well, I'd better go buy our train tickets. I'll meet you at the refreshment stand.
Okay. I'm really not very hungry, but I should get a little something. Here's a pizza counter.
Hey, bud. Bud,
What?
come here a minute.
What is it?
What are you doing?
Thought I'd get a small pizza before I board my train.
What kind of pizza?
Well, I hadn't decided. I thought I might get a pepperoni or possibly anchovies, or I might try their special combination. What?
Mozzarella cheese.
Mozzarella cheese?
It's your best bet.
It is.
Yeah. It always comes out on top.
It does.
Trust me. Mozzarella cheese. Very good in the stretch.
You're certainly right about that.
With mozzarella, you can't lose.
You know, on second thought, I don't think I'll get a pizza. I see a taco stand across the way. I think I'll see what they have.
In that case, Bud, put your money on jalapeno peppers. They're hot.
Look, I order my lunch from a menu, not a racing form. Goodbye. No matter where I go, I always run into that guy.
Your attention, please. Train leaving on track 5 for Anaheim, Azusa, and Cucamonga. There's plenty of seating available, folks.
I do like Mexican food. I wonder what they have at this taco stand. I'll ask the man. Pardon me, are you in charge of this counter?
See?
Well, I think I'd like to get something to eat. What's your name?
Sign.
Cy.
See?
How's business today, Cy?
Slow.
Slow?
See?
I see you have tacos filled with pork.
See?
What kind of hog does that pork come from?
Sow.
Sow?
See?
Well, I don't know if I want one of those. What's that boiling in that pot, Cy?
Stew.
Stew?
See?
Do you have any kind of salad? Oh, that bowl. It looks like shredded cabbage. What do you call that?
Slaw.
Slaw?
See?
I just don't know what to get. Everything looks so good. I've never eaten here before. Now, Cy, supposing I should eat some of your food and get sick from it, what could I do?
Sue.
Sue?
See?
Now cut that out!
Wonderful,
Isn't
wonderful.
that nice stuff?
Yeah, what's really nice is that anybody can get involved
That's
with
right.
it. People,
That's right.
anybody who is interested in old
We
radio
have a
can get
director, help
involved.
you out, get going, coach you, do the whole thing, yeah.
Who gets to work all the sound effects?
It varies. You see, it's an ensemble company. So everybody, sometimes you're working sound effects, sometimes you're directing, sometimes you're the star. It's great.
And
We
you
want
travel.
you to come down.
And you travel, too.
Well, they don't travel, but they have groups all over the city.
Oh, I see.
Throughout. They have a half a dozen groups all over the city, all over the community.
Look what you've started.
Yeah, it's nice, isn't it?
It really is. I'm proud of you, Chuck.
Thank you, Pat.
I bet your family's proud of you,
Oh,
too.
I'm proud of them, too, yeah.
This is really nice. Well, you know what? If you've been watching Golden Days of Radio, of course, and you've been watching Chuck Schaden, and so many people enjoy your programs and follow you and listen to you, and you know that because you hear from so many of them. I want to give you, first of all, this bit of information. The Museum of Broadcast Communications, any information that you would want, you could get through them at 312-629-6000. And if specifically, though, if they really just want to come down to one of these presentations, it would be every second
Sunday of the month at 2 o'clock. No charge, no admission charge. It's free.
Just come on down, and if you're interested and you want to be a part of it, you just
hang
say,
around afterwards and tell the director, and they'll sign you up. They'll get you to the right group.
Sounds like a lot of fun to me.
Great.
You also have Metro Golden Memories.
Another gold for you.
Yeah, that's right. That's a business that you started how many years ago now?
It'll be 20 years next month. Or in March, I should say.
A big celebration.
Yeah.
That's where you can get the Maltese Falcon. What's the most unusual thing you have there, do you think?
Well, we have just about every radio tape you ever could think about over there, and the Maltese Falcon replica, and old-time movies, and
posters, and
all kinds of stuff. Yeah,
everything.
It's all unusual. It's all
and it's
fun.
in the city. Chuck Schaden, how nice to have you here. It's been a great pleasure.
Thanks, Pat.
Thank you
nice
so
to be
much.
Here.
Thanks for all that you've done too for radio.
Thank you.
And bringing so much fun to so many people.
Thanks a lot.
I hope you've enjoyed our golden show. We have. We'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.